Well, teens can be exasperating, but we are here to help you. Licensed family therapist Kent Toussaint joins us this morning to answer your questions that you've sent in. And we want to say good morning to you, Kent. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so our first question is from a person who says that our young adult daughter stopped taking her depression medication. She thought the medication was having a negative impact on her skin and caused it to itch. So she did not contact her doctor and missed her last appointment. So what are your thoughts on people, not taking their medication without medical consultation?
Well, first off, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a licensed family therapist. So, but common sense would dictate if you're prescribed medication and you want to go off that medication, one should probably talk to their doctor about that. Now, she may be having a negative reaction, but going to her doctor, it's important. And if she's going off depression medication, we know that if you go off in a way that the doctor does not see appropriate, there could be negative reactions. So I would encourage this 20-year-old woman to talk to her doctor, talk to her therapist, find out what's going on, because depression medication is not the only way to treat depression. It's one part of it. Therapy is a big part of that too.
Okay, and hopefully there are other medications, not just one.
Exactly. I think there are a lot of medications out there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Kent. Okay, so the next question: how do I deal with my 15-year-old boy who is defiant and self-destructive? For example, he needed to turn in 3 missing assignments by Friday. He did the work, he completed it on Thursday, but he didn't turn in the assignments. So then he says, when I asked him if he turned them in, he said he did. But when I looked online, it showed he did not. When I confronted him, he said that no, he didn't turn it in because he didn't want to. I'm so dumbfounded, I don't know how to respond.
So there's a lot going on in this question. The things that really stand out to me are the connection between this parent and this child. I see this a lot at Teen Therapy Center, where kids will say they do the homework, they actually do the homework and don't turn it in. And I'm wondering why he's doing this. Did he not turn in, but he's saying he did? Either way, I think there's something going on with a connection between this parent and this child. And I'm wondering if it's because there's so much pressure to do the assignments, to get straight A's, or whatever that pressure is. There's now this animosity, there's this tension between parents and the child, and there's this shame. Whether he forgot to turn it in or he just decided not to, I think there's something going on where there's this shame. And when we have shame, there's anger going in and anger going out. So there's anger towards himself and anger towards his parents. And if we can find a way to strengthen that relationship so they can talk about grades and homework and other things too and build that relationship, we may have less of a battle with homework.
Okay. This next person writes in that, like most teens, my 12-year-old daughter spends most of her time with her head down, staring at her phone. I try not to give her reasons to hate me, but I want to put the kibosh on this to an extent. Every time I put limits on screen time, it falls by the wayside in just a matter of days. Do you have any suggestions?
Yes, don't let those limits fall by the wayside. And whatever those limits are, I think this daughter should have a voice in them. She doesn't not necessarily say, but a voice. She should be able to collaborate with her parents on what those limits are. And I think whatever the limits are, the parents should follow suit. If you say that screens have to be off by 8 o'clock, that means parents should be off by 8 o'clock, which means what are we all going to do with our time? Well, why don't you guys play a board game or do a puzzle or bake cookies or take the dog for a walk? But it's really important that we as adults walk the walk that we expect our teens to walk too.
Okay, that can be tough in the summer because,
yes,
it's almost here for a lot of kids.
Absolutely.
All right, Kent, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.